Hey Jerome, just seeing Nick go through another season-ending injury here, just how hard is that for you guys knowing everything he worked through to get back from the knee?
Yeah, it's real hard to see. Kind of like you said, seeing all the work that he's put in to be on the field, and then him having to turn around and have another injury like this. You know, it's sad to see, and I know the type of guy Nick is. He just back to work.
Why do you think it is, like in your time getting to know him, that, anytime he's gotten hurt, like guys are visibly emotional almost, like you all talk about him in the same way and that he's the heart and soul of the team. Like, what is it about Nick that makes him that kind of player?
Just the way he come to work every day. He in early, out late. The way he work, how much work he put in, and you being able to see it on the field. Bursting in practice. Things. It's a bunch of little things that he do that we all get to see day in and day out, and just to see it like coming to fruition on game day, everything that he do, it's like a proud moment for us. Like, dang, he do it every day in practice, and now we get to see it in the game. So, I think that's about it.
Yeah, next we'll go to Cam.
Hey, Jerome, I know that you said that you're Nick Chubb's biggest fan and you guys are really close. So I just wonder, you had the experience of having his back through that knee rehab. What does it look like this time around? It's a shorter window, but still something that he's going to have to overcome. So, as his friend and teammate, what does it look like supporting him through this one?
Just making sure we finish out the season strong. Just kind of taking it how he would and taking it day by day, making sure we put the work in throughout the week so that we can get what we want out on game day, and playing hard on Sundays and trying to win out.
And for you, when you're back in the backfield now, you seem to have some really explosive runs. That 62-yard touchdown had to have felt good. So, I mean, is there a little extra motivation now to put that out there and be successful yourself, not only for you and for the team, but to back up Nick while he's out?
Of course, a lot of motivation to go out there and play harder, finish strong.
Thank you.
Next we'll go to Patrick.
Hey Jerome, just wondering, what are some things you've learned, maybe either on the football field or off the football field, from your time with Nick so far in your career?
How to carry myself on the field, practice, off the field. Um, you know, Nick don't say a lot of things, but the way he worked, the way he come in, he set his routine, and just seeing things like that, from the meeting room, the way he take notes in every meeting room. He's been in the league 7 years, been in his offense for a long time. So, just being able to see him, operate on a daily basis, and you ask him a question, he like, oh, you should do this, and do that. I think those have been a big help for me, and I've been, fortunate enough to have a vet like that.
And then on that 62-yard run last night, just kind of what do you see on that play? Like, what do you think kind of worked well on that? Could you kind of walk me through that?
We had a couple reps of it in practice this week. Coach had been harping on being slow on that specific play, and we had a play against the Giants that we fumbled because of timing, and I just wanted to make sure that I got the timing right. And wide receivers, all offensive line did a great job of blocking it up. If you look at that film, it's just me running. I'm not touched at all, and that's pretty much offensive line and wide receivers doing their job.
Awesome, thank you.
Next we'll go to Scott.
Hey, Jerome. I mean, you had the explosive kickoff return. I think it was last week, and another one yesterday, and then the long touchdown. Um, what's it been about the last couple of weeks? Are you feeling healthier than maybe that stretch earlier in the season?
Nah, just honing in on the little things. That's really about it. Staying the course, and good things end up happening.
Did it feel like you were waiting a long time for these kind of explosive plays to happen this season?
Yeah, I think whether it was from me, anybody in the running back room, we just been waiting on somebody to break one, and it just so happened to be me.
Thanks.
Next we'll go to Tony.
All right. Hey, Jerome, I think it's safe to say that everyone on this call is as big a fan of Chubb as you are. even though we're in the media. But what would you say to people who say at his age, Chubb's never going to be what he was?
They just need to take a deeper look at the film and the things that he's put into this game in the past, and say give him a little bit more time. And when he back and he rolling, I feel like the play and the work will speak for itself. I have no doubts about how Nick Chubb will play when he come back from this one. I had no doubts about the last one just because of how he worked. And when the time comes, we'll be able to shut all the naysayers up.
Okay, and a question for you about you have had recent success the last couple games and kickoff returns, but you've been part of the special teams now for 2 years. What do you think's going on elsewhere? There's so many facets to the special teams, but it has been a big problem throughout the year. What do you see the problem?
We always have a great game plan. Us as players, sometimes we just have you know we got to make plays, and I think it comes down to that and making sure that we are doing our job, and all 11 players are doing our job. That's really about it. As long as all 11 players do their job, we'll have success in any facet of the game.
So you're putting it on the players.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next one, Mary Kay.
Yeah, Jerome, just wondering, with a quarterback decision looming for this weekend, whether it's going to be Jameis or if he'll go to Dorian or whatever, I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on what Jameis has meant to the offense over these last 7 starts? I know about all the interceptions, of course, but just what has he meant in terms of kind of waking up the offense, and how do you feel about playing with him?
Jameis meant a lot to our offense and to the team in general, from being a leader, being a funny guy, or just being a great person off the field. He's meant a lot to us.
And in the event that they sit him down, what impact might that have on some of you guys? You specifically, if they bench Jameis, how will you feel about that?
Uh, it's a decision that's made by the higher ups, and I got to go out there and do my job. And I feel like everybody feel the same, but it won't change how we think about Jameis, and Jameis will still be that guy that's out in the forefront, still leading the team in any way that he can and helping the team in any way he can.
Okay, thank you.
Last one from Spencer.
Hey Jerome, you guys had your highest total rushing yards for a game yesterday in back-to-back weeks where you guys went over 100 yards on the ground. Just what have you noticed in like recent weeks that's allowed you guys to be more successful in the run game and be more consistent in the run game that's kind of working for you guys?
Um, like I said before, just honing in on the details. We are everybody getting on the same page, all 11 guys doing our job, from the offensive line to us hitting the right holes and being in the right places, the wide receivers blocking on the edge and the quarterback making the right calls and the coaches calling the right plays. I feel like when we hitting on all cylinders like that, it's really hard to stop us.
Thanks, Jerome.
Thanks, Jerome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Rodney, I know that this is obviously your last season in the NFL, but some of the guys have been talking about why it's important to continue fighting through, especially on defense, to keep the unit together. Is that kind of a shared sentiment throughout the roster, knowing that they want as many guys to continue into 2025 as they can?
Yeah, I believe just the heart and the spirit of the team is a competitive spirit, and we all recognize that this is our only opportunity as the 2024-2025 Browns team to be together, and our signature is on this season, and of course things haven't necessarily gone the way that we would have hoped. But I feel that through it all, one thing is true is that we've stayed together. The spirit has always been right. It's been a fighting spirit. It's been one where, we do believe. And I think, nothing's going to change, despite, the loss. It hurts in the moment. These 24 hours, it does suck because we put so much, work and time into it. But knowing that there still are three remaining games, and we have to go out there and fight as one. And honestly, we want to just experience that victory feeling again. So the mindset, the heart for us is push on, and let's try to get a win on Sunday.
For you, these last three games, what do you need? What do you want to see out of them, knowing that they are probably your last three in the NFL, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I want to win all three. I want to go out a winner. And, I think when I started the season, going out a winner what existed for me, what that looked like was, hosting a Lombardi trophy. But, I think any competitor, any person that respects the game, as much as I do and the rest of the team, going out, finishes year strong with three solid wins versus great teams who are all, still in playoff contention and might even, find themselves in the playoffs, is something that everybody can walk away with and feel good about.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Rodney, just wondering, with the quarterback decision looming, we don't know what it is yet. But if Jameis gets benched, I'm just wondering, how would you feel about that? And what has he meant or brought to you guys this season?
For us as a team, we support anyone who lines up, behind center, whether that, was Deshaun starting out, Jameis, now taking over, or DTR, to finish the game for us yesterday. That is our mindset. And that's how we approach that situation. I think it's been clear and very evident and how impactful Jameis has been for us as a leader, both on and off the field. You see that was evident from day one. That was my observation as he supported Deshaun through it all, through OTAs, training camp, and up to the point where he was a starter. He stayed consistent. He is the identity of what selfless looks like, is Jameis, and he's continued to demonstrate that throughout his time here, and it's been a pleasure just to have him as a teammate, learn from him, pick his brain, and it's been exciting to watch him on the field, and what he's been able to do for the offense. So we'll see what Kevin decides, but at the end of the day, we support whatever that final decision is.
Thank you.
Next, go to Ashley.
Hey, Rodney, I know this year it just seems like complimentary football has been a struggle for you guys. Multiple people have brought it up, but like yesterday, when the defense plays really well, things are kind of going haywire elsewhere. Like it just seems like guys don't really turn on each other with this group and don't want to pass blame around. So, what is it about you guys that you kind of just move on and there's not like grudges being held or public spats?
It's the love that we have for one another, the foundation that we built, and how through rough times, nothing can really, pierce that foundation that was created, and that was formed in OTAs, training camp, and just throughout the year. It's unconditional love, regardless of the final results, and we all. Envision the season being completely different. But this is our reality. And so, one thing that we can do is we can continue to band together because it's when you have something like that, that's something that you can build off of. And when you have good character men in the locker room with you, you can build on that. So that's what we're staying true to. And that's what's going to keep us showing up each and every day and continuing to fight, on Sundays.
And I mean, I know you obviously made the decision to retire after this year a while ago, but just knowing there are 3 games left and that things haven't gone the way you guys wanted, and it's been a losing season, just how do you feel? I mean, just going into these last few weeks.
Uh, Thankful. That's what stands out to me, and recognizing the gift that God has blessed me with, and making sure that I do right by that. Uh, that I respect the gift, and I'm responsible with it, and that means me giving everything I have into this game. That's given me a lot, and so that alone keeps me moving forward and is at the forefront. And that's what I'm really focused on, man, is making the most of what is left of this season, of the short season.
Next, we go to Scott.
Hey, Rodney, talking about having 3 games left, did you, during the season, have you ever reconsidered that this would be your last for whatever reason? The fact that it hasn't gone like the team would want or anything else?
No, no. Honestly, just content with whatever the finish is, and I think there's no perfect story. There's no perfect ending to it, and I'm just comfortable with living with the final results.
And Kevin talks so much about turnovers, and obviously yesterday it was so startling.
Hmm.
Just how tough is that from a defensive perspective when you guys are playing really well yesterday, but you're not getting a chance because it's 6 turnovers?
I think, yeah, every game, we go into, we talk about the turnover margin, and we talk specifically about us, what is our record when we're ahead in the turnover battle or we tie. And that has been very consistent. And I think across football, turnovers, whether you get them or you're giving them away, it either, enhances your chances of winning, or it diminishes it. And so, for us yesterday, we put ourselves in a very difficult space with 6 turnovers offensively, and on special teams. And that's what we're chasing, like that collective game where all three parties are playing at a high level, executing, and when we done that, we've resulted in wins. But when now we're taking turns in making the game a lot more difficult than it needs to be, then that's when we found ourselves, on the wrong side of these games.
Thanks.
Last one from Spencer.
Hey Rodney, obviously everyone's kind of had some thoughts on Nick Chubb going down with another season-ending injury. I'm curious though, from like your perspective. I mean, you've been part of so many different teams. You've been part of a Super Bowl winning team. Have you ever come across a player that, like of Nick Chubb's stature, where he transcends like offensive players have nothing but good things to say, and he's so impactful to them, defensive guys, the coaching staff, everybody just is impacted by his sort of influence on a team?
Yeah, I have, and Chubb has that effect. As you said, he's a guy that shows up every single day, his truest self, and what people have, what you understand about Chubb is that he takes the game seriously. He takes preparation seriously. Everything that it requires of him to do, he does. And for him, I think it's all about winning, and it's all about serving his team. And so when you see a guy who does like everything the right way, and is a hell of a player on the field, it hurts. When you see him go through some of these tragic moments throughout his in the past couple years of his career. And so, my heart goes out to him, and I'm just praying for him. You know, I, the physical recovery, yes, but it's more of the mental battle that I know all of us have faced. If you've experienced any sort of season-ending injury that requires, intense surgery and the road to recovery is long, that can have an effect on you. But I know he has all of us to lean on. He doesn't have to, carry it himself. And I know Nick, man, is going to line up back on that field, and it's going to be another huge accomplishment for him, and just something that you can add to his story.
And then you've talked so much already about just this being your last three games and how you're kind of approaching it. But if for your teammates as they watch you sort of go through this process and wrap your head around being done with your career and all this, is there like a lasting message that you kind of want to leave with those guys over these next few games that they can kind of carry on into the rest of their careers?
I think for myself, just always, respecting the game and um, being mindful in how you show up every single day. I pride myself on trying to be the same individual every time I walk into this building, every time I hit that grass, regardless of year one to year 13, as a Super Bowl champion, before I was, after I was. Um, I think there's a lot that a young player can learn from just my daily walk, as well as, a veteran who's uh, aspiring to play 10 plus years. So I just try to be that same guy each and every day. And again, show my respect for the game by the way that I, approach, everything inside these walls and outside.
Appreciate it, Rodney.
Thanks, Rod. That wraps us up for today.